Aries, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carol, and this is going to be a general reading for mid-November 2024. And I want to welcome my new subscribers, and also if you've been following my channel for a while, I want to thank you as well. If you're interested in a personal reading from me, there is a link in my description box and also in my comments section, and that's going to bring you to about 6 or 7 readings that I have on offer for you, so you can take advantage of that if you like. And so what we're going to do right now is there is a full supermoon in Taurus coming out November 15th, and because my readings are coming out around that time, I thought that we would use the moon's energy, which is going to be quite intense at this time, to create some kind of a reading around it. So we're going to look at, first of all, I'm going to use, let me see, I'm going to use the Ehrenberg Tarot. I'm going to pull four cards from that, and I'm going to clarify that with the Tarot Vintage. And I want to start off with looking at, Aries, what you need to release that no longer serves you. Because the full moon often will, its energy can be very intense around this time, and it will definitely, pull from us things that we need to let go that are no longer serving us. So I'm gonna ask for one card for that right now to see what Aries needs to release during this full moon energy period coming out. All right, so you had the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. And you have the Seven of Pentacles right after it. Now, also what's going to happen is the full moon energy, it will shine a light on things that we didn't know before. So there are definitely going to be secrets that are going to be revealed, and that's going to happen on a global level as well as a personal level. So what we're going to do now is we're going to ask for something that's coming up in your shadow, that is sitting in your unconscious, that actually is needing to be healed. And so that's what's going to have this effect, this push, this drive on what's happening in your life right now. So you're going to find that this is like a mirror effect going on here. You have your outer life, and then you have what's going on in your inner life, and they're very much related if you take a close look at them. And so we're going to be doing some shadow work in part 2. And if you're unfamiliar with those terms, I've left a really good video for you in my description box below called My Powerful 4-Step Guide to Shadow Work. And it's a video taken from my other channel called Carol Cares. And it's all about facing your shadow and how to do it, and something I put together myself because I've been on my own healing journey intensively for about 7.5 years now to heal my own complex trauma. So let's ask for one card for what's coming up from Aries shadow that needs to be that needs to be revealed right now. What's coming up that needs to be revealed? You have the Emperor card. All right, and at the top, we're gonna look for I'm gonna ask for what direction does the universe want to take you during this period. Now, the reason why we're having these secrets revealed and something coming up for you to let go of is because the universe always wants to take you in a different direction. And so this is definitely going to be a reading where something's going to come up, and you're also going to be you're asked to shed it, but because there is a new direction for you coming here. So we're going to ask the tarot to show us what direction the universe wants to take you in, Aries, right now. Whoa, caught that one. The Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords. And finally, we're going to ask for some advice from the tarot at the bottom. Now, this is a healing journey, and it's a process. And so the advice that's they're gonna give you is something that's going to set you off on the right foot. It's not going to be anything like a some miracle drug and how you're going to heal this right away, because it is a process. So, and as well as the advice from the tarot, I will also recommend you probably a playlist from Carol Cares where it's going to be more specific to what you need to work on here, something to help you out with that. And it'll also leave you with my November 2024 reading, and I will pull a Moonology card for you at the end. So let's ask for one card for the advice from the tarot right now. for Aries. One card here. The Nine of Cups and the King of Pentacles in reverse. The Hermit card is the advice. And I will put that away, and then I'm going to ask for some clarifiers here. And these two decks have been pre-shuffled before I came on for you. So can I have some clarifiers for this Nine of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles? Couple cards for clarifiers. There we go. The Three of Wands in reverse, and the Ace of Wands. And a couple of cards for the Emperor. And our shadow here. Okay, one more. There we go. All right, so you got the Strength card, the Knight of Swords. How about the Ten of Swords here? Clarification for that. Couple cards. The Three of Pentacles and the Six of Wands. All right, I'm going to leave these three since I have three already. And if I need clarification, I will pull more from that deck. So let's begin with Aries. What are you being asked to release right now during this time? Anything that's no longer serving you. And you start off with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse with the clarifier of the Seven Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles talks about, well, first of all, the Knights in my deck are freedom fighters. I call them my freedom fighters, and they're that part of you. And everybody seems to have this part where it's just wanting freedom to be yourself. And and you do that through being, through authenticity. And so there's this drive to get to go towards your authenticity. And this is the Knight of Pentacles, and Pentacles talks about your body. The pentacle is your body. So it can have anything to do with, freedom in regards to your health, freedom in regards to your workspace, in your self-esteem and how you feel about yourself, maybe freedom from some feelings of unworthiness that you have about yourself. And the pentacle is also about grounding and being in your body and feeling your emotions. And so it starts off with that. And as a clarifier of that, you have the Seven of Pentacles. And the Seven of Pentacles is this individual that has really committed themselves to doing something all their life. And it often can talk about the workspace, but it's a feeling of, is there something else out there for me? Like, I've spent my entire existence working on this, committing so much time to something. And now I'm like, I'm looking for some freedom. I'm wondering, is this what I'm really supposed to be doing? Was I supposed to be doing that all my life? Is there something else that I'm supposed to be doing? And that's where you're sitting right here, where you're having this, and maybe these doubts have come up before, and then they've gone away, and you've shoved them back down, and it's just like, is there something else out there for me? Whatever it is, because you've, like I said, maybe you've spent a lot of time committing to something else, and then you're realizing, where did that get me? And so there's this Three of Wands, and it's no surprise that right behind that are two wands, two cards of wands from the wand suit. And the wand suit is all about that purposeful direction you're meant to go in, or that creative direction. When I say creative, it's like doing something that's kind of unconventional, something that people would look at you and go like, what are you doing? And so there seems to be like, you have this plan, and that's kind of, you're thinking like it's more than getting this nudge. It's like you have a plan that you're thinking, yeah, that's maybe what I want to do. And it's in reverse. And so there's a fear here. There's a fear to doing this. Sometimes we get this fear and we don't know why we have this fear, and these doubts are coming up in you, and you know it's been there for a while. And so if it has been that, where it comes and it goes and it comes and it goes, and it's like this quiet whisper, well, that's our intuition, that's our inner guidance that's kind of guiding us to go that route. And then you get this Ace of Wands right after it. The wands, again, like I said, it's that purposeful direction, but the ace is a gift. It's an offer. It's like, here, you can do this. You can go. It's like a green light that's saying, go ahead. Here's a gift. You can take this and you can do this. But you're not taking it. It's in reverse. There's a resistance to taking it. So two cards here where there's a real resistance to going this. So we need to release what is preventing you. We need to look at, okay, why won't you take that step for you, that next step that you have a plan to go to, but there's something that's holding you up here. There's something that's blocking you. And that's what the universe is wanting you to release during this time right now, this block that's holding you back. And so we're going to look in your shadow, because what's happening here is, I don't even know what's in here. Like I'm just kind of predicting here that there's going to be something that's going to show you why you're blocked. And what that block is what you have to heal in order for you to take that next step for yourself. And that's exactly how this healing journey works, is that when you want to do something creative for yourself, you often have to do some healing first. And so the Emperor card comes up for you, and the Emperor card is, it's a real stable, number 4 of the major arcane. It's like a father-like figure, very controlling. And so I'm wondering if you were raised in a very controlling environment, because this is sitting in your shadow. And so this is the control that would have told you what's right and what's wrong, what's not allowed and what is allowed. And oftentimes that control, that feeling of what you're allowed to do and not allowed to do, comes from the universe. I mean, society. It could come from society, like societal expectations and what you're allowed to do and you shouldn't do, and people might look at you and who do you think you are, kind of things like that. Or our family, people that raised us, right? And so there's like this, the first card is like this controller here, this really solid, and sometimes, very is portrayed being, you can see this white beard here that's coming through right here. So it's very old, or very, these rules that you continue to live by. And that's the thing here. They're like, there are these imaginary rules that someone gave you growing up, or that you learned growing up, and you continue to live by them here. So, and I'm wondering if that is what is blocking this, these imaginary rules that you're being asked to look at. Because right behind it here is the Strength card. And the Strength card talks about having the strength to, when it's not in the shadow, it talks about having the strength to like open up that Pandora's box and go inwards and look at some of our stuff here. But because it's in here, it's like it just kind of tells me that because you had such a controlling environment when you were younger, you didn't have the strength. You were too young. You didn't have the strength to face these big emotions that you felt. When you could have a lot of anger here, I'm thinking. If you were very controlled when you were younger and you wanted to do something, there's certain thing you wanted to do, but you were told like, no, that's just not allowed, because not really any reason. It's like asking a parent, well, why can't I do that? Well, because. I mean, that's not a reason, right? So maybe there's some real anger here, but there's some big emotions here that are sitting here that are waiting to be opened, but because you didn't have the capability when you were younger to deal with these emotions. I mean, there is a huge part of you sitting right in your shadow where you have a Knight of Swords here. And the Knights in my deck are what I call my freedom fighters. And they're an adolescent part of us, and all of us have this part. I just talked about it over there, and I apologize. I've been doing a few readings today, and that's why I looked over there and went, I know you have another knight here. And so, yeah, you started off with the Knight of Pentacles, which is interesting, and then it's ending with another knight here, but it's the Knight of Swords. So I just talked about the knights being our freedom fighters. And so you have one that's sitting here in your shadow, and this is the one that carries the sword of your truth. This is the sword of your truth that's sitting here, because your truth is not who somebody told you were, or somebody said that, where you said you're allowed to do something and you're not. And so here you are going back to what you're asked to be released here. So here you are sitting here, ready to do something, wanting to do it, and you're blocked from doing it. And there's this big pull to do it, like that knight in there. And then over here, you've got another knight that's wanting to be authentic and wanting to be themselves, that was absolutely crushed, was repressed in you because the emperor came out and said, not allowed, put it away. And so, I mean, that's devastating to somebody, right? And so this is all coming up for you to heal right now, and that's the block. And so I'm sure you're hearing things in your head that this emperor told you when you were younger, like why you can't do this, all these reasons. And so what direction does the universe want to take you right now? Well, here's all these reasons, these 10 of Swords. These are all, swords are our mental energy. And I'm sure I talked about the Knight of Swords, but in general, the swords are these things that people told you, right? So all those things that people told you when you were younger of why you couldn't do this, like what did society tell you of why you weren't allowed to do something? And so that's coming up for you right now. And like I said, you're probably hearing them in your head, you're not good enough. You're not strong enough. You're not this enough. You wouldn't be able to do that. Who do you think you are? Well, look at that. Look how it's done you in. And it's done you in because that's what's blocking you right now. And so the universe wants you to look at that. Really take a look at, this is the number 10. We need to look at these because there's a new cycle that's going to be happening here. And because it's like you've hit the wall here with what you want to do, but you just don't know why you keep spinning around this and can't do this. And then the universe says, well, here's the Three of Pentacles coming up. And sometimes when the Three of Pentacles in my deck is a co-creative card, working with someone else. And I find when this comes out, it usually means that it's kind of a suggestion for you to say, well, maybe you need help. Maybe there's someone else you can talk to. And oftentimes I look at this as maybe a therapy card of maybe getting back into therapy just to talk to somebody, or maybe you've sworn off therapy and you say, I don't want to do this again, or you've gone in and out of it, or maybe you've never tried it before. And sometimes I think I hear people that say that they have never had a therapist in their life, which to me sounds, I've had therapy all my life, so I kind of think, how can you go through life without therapy? That's how I feel. And so, I don't know what your situation is, but maybe it's time to get some help, because it looks like you've hit the wall here. And because this tells me what you need help with. And it's a big emotion that needs to be expressed here, because I did say that there's probably some anger here. And I want to talk to you about just a second about anger. Anger is an emotion. If you've come from a very controlling environment, there is a good chance that you have anger, but you've buried it because you probably weren't allowed to show it. And you might have been very warned against using it. And so anger is a good emotion in that it brings about change. But if you're not allowed to use it, it becomes stuck in you, and sometimes we can lash out at the wrong people at the wrong time. But if you do have anger, and I've had lots of anger, but I've had a hard time getting to it. Anger is what I call a secondary emotion. It's a defense against what really needs to be felt. And so if you can get some help on, maybe you need to get at your anger. And maybe that's one of the playlists I'll leave you at the end. I'll see. But because behind your anger is this big emotion right here that's going to be revealed for you. And this is the number 6. This is the 6 of Wands. And the number 6 in my deck always has a duality to it. And so like a lot of times you'll look at it and it represents something on one side, but on the other it's something else. So on the surface, this card looks like someone coming back from a victory camp. They have the victory wreath here and victory crown on the head, and it looks like this person has won the war and they're celebrating or won some kind of battle. And then there's this green blanket here. If you were to rip that green blanket off, that's going to show you what the opposite side of this. So the opposite side of winning is always losing and what you've lost. And so the universe says, well, I think it's time here for you to get some help, go back into therapy and look at what you've lost, because there's a lot of grieving that you need to do. There's a lot of grieving here that needs to take place, because when we are younger and we're controlled and we're not allowed to do things, well, we get angry, but there's also a shit ton of grief there because you weren't allowed to do what you were supposed to do, what you wanted to do, to be yourself. And now you're wanting to do it, but you have this big, huge block, and it usually has to do with some emotions that you have to get out. And so what's coming on here? So advice from the tarot. So how can I begin to heal this? Well, first of all, this is a 9 of Cups card, and it's a card that's 1 cup away from the 10 of Cups. And the 10 of Cups is that full range of emotion that all of us can feel. And it's a completion card. It's when you get to a point where you are not afraid to use all your emotions that you have access to. The 9 of Cups is this individual that says, I'm kind of got my hands crossed here. Sometimes it's has the arms crossed in the Rider-Waite deck, and it's this individual that has decided, you know what, I'm putting all my cups here on a shelf. And I'm done healing. I'm done with therapy. I'm 1 cup away from the 10 of Cups, but I'm done. And I call this my spiritual bypass card, or my shadow bypasser card, which means that, I'm done healing. I don't want to do it anymore. Maybe that's where you are right now, because I did say that maybe you've hit the wall, or it's time to go back into therapy. And And that's what often happens when we hit the wall like this. And the last thing we want to do is to go and feel and to go back in our bodies. And I talked about the Knight of Pentacles in here, about somebody that wants to get back in their body so they can feel this grief that you need to feel right now. And so, and it sounds like you're somebody that's very closed off, and I understand why, because the King of Pentacles is right behind it. And the King of Pentacles is our masculine side. We all have a masculine and a feminine side. And the masculine side is our ego self. And our ego self will kick in when it comes time to feel our emotions. It'll come out and say, don't you dare go near those emotions. Don't you dare touch that grief that you're meant to feel here in order to take yourself into this new direction. Because the universe is saying there is a new direction here. But our ego is a petrified part. And if there's one emotion that it does not want to touch, it's grief. It thinks it's going to eat you alive. And so it's a defense that we have. Our ego self defends against these emotions, and it'll defend against all of them, and especially grief. And so you have to be aware that your ego self is out. You are very much in your head, and your ego self will keep us in our head because there's no emotions here. All our emotions are in our body, and the ego self says, don't you dare go inwards. But the last card is the Hermit card. And the Hermit card is all about going inward. And so this call here for you is very much a call to get back into your body, get grounded, go inwards and feel this grief that you need to feel when you are younger in order for you to take yourself into this new direction. So I'm going to leave you with a playlist on grounding, for sure. I want you to learn how to ground. And also I'll leave you with your November 2024 reading. And before we go, I'm going to pull a card for you from the Moonology deck, Aries. It's been a fantastic reading for you here. If this resonated with you, let me know below. I like to hear people's comments. Even if, you just say it resonated or makes sense, something. All right, something's going to come out here. There it is. Oh, you got one, so I'm just going to pick this one. New Moon in Libra. I think I'm going to pick this one for you. Full Moon in Capricorn, 86. The end of a tough cycle approaches. I feel like you're at an end of a cycle. How hard are you willing to work for what you want? This card is reminding you that effort is required. Work issues may be about to come to a head when this card comes up, and that Seven of Pentacles can refer to work issues. If you're wondering if you should stay in your job or leave, this card can be a strong sign to make an exit. The end of a rough time is forecast. This card also asks you to consider how ambitious you are and whether you're prepared to pull out all the stops to make your professional dreams come true without being ruthless. With a love question, this card can be a call to face reality. Whatever situation you're asking about, making a plan will help. If your personal life is troubled, prioritize it more. Wow. I think that said a lot to you about what we were just talking about earlier on, what you need to release. So, Aries, I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through. This is the most difficult journey of your life, but it's the most important one as well. So, I will see you in December. Take care. Bye.